started out as a guy in his basement, manages a team in 16 countries, runs the biggest direct response digital ad agency on earth, is the co-host of the #1 digital marketing podcast, has over 20 years of internet marketing experience, as you can see in the gray in his beard, 25 years of sales and sales management experience. And those 20 and 25 years are independent of each other, y'all. That's 45 years of total professional experience. Has lived through 2 pandemics, is a self-proclaimed guitar rock god wannabe, the father of the modern Facebook agency, here to talk to us about multi-channel everything. My very good friend, the reason that I'm nerd famous now, Ralph Reed Burns. Ralph, thanks for being here, buddy.
Gentlemen, great to be here. And yeah, appreciate the masterclass from John Moran right there. I'm always blown away by anything that he says, even though I don't understand a word of it.
Nobody gets any of it. That's been half of the chats. There's actually somebody who just left. They were like, this is great, but I don't understand any of it.
I thought I was doing a good job today too. I was like, this is slow and nice.
Lauren Petrullo just said Ralph was born in 1932.
No. Correction. 1912.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wasn't the first pandemic was in World War I. So
that's right.
Yeah, I was 4.
Ralph, you're the cause of the cesspool that is the agency world. Like, you created the model for the modern day Facebook agency, especially. And we asked you here today. First of all, a lot of people said a lot of really nice things about you in chat, by the way. You should go back and read those. I asked my team to screenshot them for you.
Nice.
But we're on a time crunch. We have 18 minutes, and we were hoping in the next 18 minutes you could regale us with a talk about why we need to go full funnel, multi-channel, all the things that your favorite soapboxes.
My favorite soapboxes. Yeah.
Well,
I mean, John actually just talked about some personal injury stuff, so I can just piggyback on that.
That's great.
You know, I have a case study. I have a screen share if you guys want to do that. I don't know how much time we have here, but
we got it. Let's do it. We're following your lead.
We got your
show.
All right. This ain't my show. This is your show. Our show starts in 47 minutes.
Yeah, we're interviewing Marcus Murphy today, by the way, Ralph and I, to let the cat out of the bag. So stay tuned on Perpetual Traffic.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and Marcus is going to be chatting about all the awesome stuff he's been up to. That guy, he must have a doppelganger or a clone, because I swear to God, I've seen him in 2 different countries on the same day, speaking at 2 different events. Like, he's unbelievable.
Or he has like a Learjet or a time machine or something like that. I'm not quite sure exactly what it is, but yeah, he's kind of everywhere at once. Yeah, it's all good. Yeah, I mean, this is a Google show, right? So, I mean, I'm the guy coming in talking about Meta. And hopefully you guys can see my screen here.
We've got it.
Meta plus Google case study. I almost made that plus sign a heart sign, Kasim, just for you, because Meta does love Google and Google loves Meta. I think there's maybe this audience is a little bit on the Google side, I would guess, but both work really well together. We do both. We actually share some customers with you all. And what we found is it's an excellent scaling device, especially for customers that start off. I guess we call them clients now. Customers that start off with Google. We end up expanding out to Meta. Most folks come to us looking for Meta, and we start with Meta and then add Google later on, or enlist your guys' help. But in this one, they had a lot going on the Google side of the equation. And so we really sort of optimized for 4 different things, which I'm not going to get into here but they are part of the entire story. And by the way, you can download these slides at tier11.com/PI if you so choose. First one was data. They had a lot of data problems. They had a lot of tracking issues, which I'm sure you guys have never seen. John, you've never seen any sort of tracking issues with any sort of platforms. So we had to figure that out first. We added offline conversions. We expanded out to a 90-day conversion window. We did a bunch of stuff that's on the techie side that I have nothing to do with whatsoever, but thank God I have a smart team that does all that. So that was the first thing. Then we needed to optimize for the most important conversion event. So we did that. And then we did do some optimization for CRO. We did do a lot of improving of the user design, one step after another. There was a lot of different things in which we did here. Once again, not really for the show here. And then last but not least, we did a big deep dive research into their creative and found that there was two separate avatars. And in the personal injury space, as John probably knows really well, there's people who have just been in an accident and they're looking for help right then and there. Google Ads are perfect for this. But then there's the other side of the equation, the ones that, depending on what state that you're in, there is a window of opportunity that they can actually have in order to be able to contact a personal injury lawyer and then get their case tried based on statute of limitations. The first one is the much better one from our clients that we've dealt with, but we deal with a lot of personal injury lawyers. So what we did is we started doing a lot of the same sort of stuff that I think John talks about here on Google. Our Google Ads buyer is a huge fan of Solutions 8 and John Moran specifically, not Qasim. I just, although he does want Qasim's hair because he's got a shaved head like John. But the point is that we started back in May of 2022. And you can see here, these are signed cases. These are not leads. These are not calls. These are actual signed cases. So when a lead comes in for a personal injury law firm, and if you're a service-based businesses, we do this with all of our franchisees that we work with and sort of large franchise models, is that when a lead comes in, the lead and the call is important, right? But what's really important is if they become a customer, if they start buying stuff from you. And in the personal injury law space, a customer is somebody who has a signed case. So it typically goes through about a 2 to 3 week period, maybe less, depending on the severity of the case. And then that case is then put into a signed case category, which is, in our case, an offline conversion. And that offline conversion was something that we started to optimize for. So our big pitch is leads and sales are great. Our leads and phone calls are great, but sales, actual customers are a little bit better. So as you can see here, this is sort of a convoluted screen here, but this is actually inside their CRM. We started in May of 2022, and in March of 2023, which is that arrow there, we had a significant increase in signed cases to the tune of, I think it was about 200 or so per month. 200 signed cases per month is a big deal, but we got that up to 300 just by using Google and Google alone. But what we found is that we started to kind of hit this ceiling at that stage. We were getting that avatar. This is in a state, a pretty large state. Can't say exactly what state it is, in the Midwest, that they cover the entire state. So we sort of felt like through our Google Media Buyers, we were getting all the business we could potentially get. We continued to optimize and the algorithm was getting smarter and smarter. But what we needed to do is add a next layer. And so what you see here is like the next layer happens to include a lot of the stuff that is associated with personal injury lawyers, which is all the billboards that you see on the side of the road. PI lawyers build awareness over decades, and awareness is the thing that they shoot for these types of broad-based, very untargeted types of advertising so that you can then Google or call or see a TV ad, have some kind of direct response for the name of the actual law firm. So this applies, like I said, not just to PI law firms, not just to this particular industry, but to any service industry where a call and an intake and a qualification is a part of your sales process. So what we realized, we're like, wait a second, these guys are doing a lot of advertising just on the side of the road. They're doing a lot of newspaper ads, they're doing a lot of TV ads. Why don't we do the same thing and create the same type of awareness types of ads with Meta? So we started with Google. We added Meta, as you can see here. So we had increased by about 50% from 200 leads or 200 signed cases per month to about 300 per month. But then by August of this past year, we had increased that from just over 300 to 500 cases per month. And they actually switched CRMs in the middle of September. So that line actually continues to uptick as we continue on in 2023. So really the question is, okay, that's great, but what the hell happened? What did you guys do? All right, we added Meta. Is it just that simple? Well, it actually was just that simple. I was going to have the big reveal here, Qasim and John, that we did something absolutely remarkable. What we really did is we took their spend from about $7,000 a month, which is not an insignificant amount of spend. This is back in February. And if we just sort of go back here, okay, to our arrows, back in February, just to the left of that arrow, we started running our meta ads, and we started slowly ramping it up over that period from February, March, April, May, June, July, August, all the way to the point where we started to spend not just $7,000 a month, but we started to spend about $75,000 a month. So that's August of this past year. So there's your screenshots. These are not photoshopped, by the way. I know a lot of internet marketers love to do that. Lauren Petrullo, not you. In February, we're spending about $7,000 a month, and then we're spending about $75,000 a month. So that was really it. Now, the interesting part of this is that we were not doing what we typically will do on Facebook, is a lot of video, a lot of highly targeted, like level 1 type of traffic, all these different types of templates that we use for video. All we were using was just these kind of run-of-the-mill image ads that were just, hey, book a call, book a consultation, awareness. Remember, there's 2 types of avatars in this space. The ones who have just been in a car accident, they call immediately, and it's all about you beating out the next guy for personal injury lawyer or car accident lawyer, name of state, plus the name of the actual personal injury law firm. But there's this other avatar that doesn't know to call a PI lawyer yet. So they need to have a little bit more, shall we say, consideration. So what we started running was more consideration types of ads. And we started doing that. We ramped up that ad spend about 10x on Facebook itself. Now, it stands to reason that as soon as you add another ad platform, you're going to get increased conversions. So, and we absolutely did, and I'll show you some of the results here. But as you can see, this is a regional market, and like I said, it's a state market. It's not a massive national market. It's one state and then one specific region in the Midwest. And you can see the impressions were pretty significant. So we were reaching just about everybody that we could, but we were constantly turning over a lot of the creative because our impressions are 16,000. If you guys are internet marketers of any reputable note here, you know that reach of 1.3 million and impressions of 16 million means that we're hitting everybody in that reach category about 14 or 15, 16 times. So we are saturating this market. These guys have a more aggressive budget, so we were able to do that, which obviously helps. But what happened is that we were able to make sort of the 6-inch putt for our conversion ads on Google. And this is the beauty of where Meta loves Google and Google loves Meta. It's not an either or proposition. If you are a stalwart Google person, I would highly encourage you to think differently. We certainly do, because what we started to notice, and you can see this is the entire chart. If you're in your Google Ads account, you know what this is here. This is March to August of this past year. And if you look at the metrics that really matter, first off, our cost, okay, was about $224,000, but our conversions actually increased. Our costs stayed the same on Google. All we were doing is spending additional money on Meta to the tune of an additional $60,000, but our conversions almost doubled. Our conversions almost doubled with the same Google spend and slightly more Facebook spend. And this is where the 2 platforms really play well together. So that's a 98% increase. And those are on signed cases. Those are not leads. This is not some tricky screenshot here that shows anything else but signed cases. And a signed case turns into an actual customer. And I'll do the math on that in just a second here. What we found also is that our conversion rate with the addition of the Meta spend increased by 40%. This is pretty significant over time. Same thing happened with our cost per conversion. They were thrilled with this result, is that we're spending about the same on Google, and our cost per conversion now were cut in half. So the point is that when you start using these platforms together, they really do increase and they work together in concert with each other in order to grow and scale businesses. So signed cases all time was up by 67% to 546, and the cost per signed case decreased by anywhere between 40 and 50%. So the point is this, is that if you use these together, you can keep your Google spend the same and increase its efficiency by only increasing your Meta spend slightly. And this is, this is by different ways of looking at this. If you're spending $1,000 right now a month on Google, and you add in essence, $50 per month on Meta, it's the same basic ratios. So the point is like when you work these together, that's when the real magic happens. None of that really matters in the fact that what is a signed case really worth here? A signed case in this particular state is worth personal injury verdicts in this particular state on average are about $1 million per verdict, and the median is about $99,000. So this means real money for the plaintiffs, real money for the victims. But if you factor this in with what it means to our customer, if you took 546 signed cases multiplied by the median, there's $54 million in settlements. What it means to them and what it means to our customer is they basically made about $16 million in revenue off an additional $60,000 in ad spend on Meta if we use the median. And then if we use the average, which is about $1 million, because some of those $10 million, $20 million settlements really sort of skew that average, they made an additional $178 million in revenue off an increase in ad spend of $60,000. So I haven't done the ROAS numbers here yet, Qasim. I'm not really that great with math and didn't prepare that because I put this
not
together
a real science,
in
Ralph. It's
about
just
3 seconds.
It's just guesswork.
Yeah, it's just really guesswork. So that really is it. I think I'm about at my time here, but we then did an awareness phase, which we're doing right now. So this is sort of, we're doing this consideration phase, which is basically is getting a lead, optimizing for a lead on Meta. And now we're doing sort of a higher level awareness campaign where we're really not even directing them to any sort of call to action. So that's sort of our next phase. So I did this presentation at AdWorld last year just to sort of show things, did it again this year with the addition of Meta. And maybe next year we'll have some results on the awareness side, how to take that even to the next level of how you can get Meta and Google to really work well together. And they do play well in the sandbox, but we're about here right now and sort of the overall stage. And yeah, that's me, Ralph at Tier 11. If you want the slides, you email me directly, or yeah, I don't know how they get the slides, Qasim, but we can make them available to anyone who wants them. So
Ralph, we have 60 seconds left before we have to move into our VIP Q&A. There's one question that's been resounding from everybody more than any other. Can you answer that?
Yeah, for sure.
It's Ralph, what is it like working with a podcast co-host who's charming and brilliant?
That was my question too, by the way.
Everybody's asking.
Yeah, Molly was fabulous for years and years. I
Molly
can't say
Pittman.
enough great things about her. So
Yeah,
I'll leave it at
bane of
that.
my existence.